Hello, good morning. So you have an independent practice today that is due tomorrow, but I will help you with the first exercise of each section. Okay, so we already watched the video on how to find the sine and the cosine ratios. So on these, there's 3 exercises for the sine ratio and 3 for the cosine. So you have to do them by yourself. So this is just the ratios, okay? Just the ratios. It means you only need to get the fraction right here. The fraction and the decimal answer, okay? That's all we're practicing right now, okay? So on the first exercise, number 1, you have a triangle with a side with 2 legs. One leg is 6, another leg is 8, and the hypotenuse is 10, okay? So they're asking us to find the sine of angle R and the sine of angle S. So I'm going to highlight angle S, okay? All right, so what is the first thing that we're going to do? You can practice or you can use the SOHCAHTOA, okay? And of course, we're working with the sine ratio right here. And remember, this is to help you remember. So you know that S stands for sine, O stands for opposite, and the H stands for hypotenuse. So it means that your sine ratio, sine of the angle, in this case for angle S, is what? The opposite over the hypotenuse. So opposite over the hypotenuse. So it means that if we need to find the ratio for angle S, this one right here, we need to label the sides based on angle S. So what is we need to identify the opposite. So in relation to angle S, what is the side that is across? Is this one right here. So this is your opposite. And of course the hypotenuse is this one right here, because it's the one that is across from the right angle. All right, so here you have the information for the opposite, and here you have the information for the hypotenuse. So the opposite is what? 6 right here over the hypotenuse, which is 10. Okay, so sine, I'm just going to put this arrow, sine of angle S is, okay, I'm doing sine of angle S first. Sorry, I skipped sine of angle R. It's okay, you still need to get it. Okay, so sine of angle S is 6 over 10, okay? And we can simplify this fraction. The 6 and the 10, the only common factor that they have is 2. They can both be divided by 2. So if I divide 6 by 2, I get a 3. And if I divide 10 by 2, I get a 5. So it means that the sine of S equals 3 over 5. If you put this on the calculator, or you can go straight from here, okay? Sorry. If you go straight from here, I already simplified the fraction. 6 over 10 simplifies as 3 over 5. You can go straight here and just put 6 over 10 is going to give you 0.6. It's a final decimal. It's not repetitive. It's a terminating decimal. So this is your answer for sine of S. Okay. All right. Now let's get the sine of R. Sine of R. Since we already labeled this triangle right here, I'm going to draw it again here. I'm going to draw it again here. 8, 6, 10, R, T, S. All right, so now we need to get the sine of angle R. And again, it's the opposite. I want you, since you're learning, I want you to get used to writing the formula. Opposite over hypotenuse. So, where's angle R? Okay, this is angle R. So now, in relation to angle R, okay, you have to place yourself here. Which is the opposite? Which is the side that is across? It's this one right here, so I'm going to label it. This side is opposite in relation to angle R. And your hypotenuse, I forgot the right angle right here, the hypotenuse is this one right here. Oops. Hypotenuse. Okay, so the opposite is measures 8 and the hypotenuse measures 10. I'm going to simplify this fraction just for the purpose of using the arithmetics and practicing the arithmetics. I can divide these two numbers by 2. I cannot divide them both by 4. I cannot divide them both by 5. So I'm just going to divide them by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. And if you put this in the calculator, 4 over 5 is going to give you 0.8. So the sine of angle R is 0.8. And that is your answer. Okay? All right. For the second part of the exercise, they're asking you to find the cosine of angle A. Okay, find the cosine of angle A and the cosine of angle B. So for this exercise, you have 3 triangles. I'm going to do number 7, guided with you, all right? So this one is a right triangle like this, 16, 30, 34, A, B, C. Okay, so let's do the first one. Cosine of angle A. If I go back to my SOHCAHTOA, here's the SOHCAHTOA. What does it say about, where do we find the C? Where do we find the C for cosine? Right here. C. And the C stands for cosine. The A stands for adjacent. Right? And the H stands for hypotenuse. So it means that the cosine is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Okay, so I'm going to write it over here. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So I'm going to place myself, or you need to identify where is angle A. And angle A is right here, is this one right here. So in relation to this angle, you know that your hypotenuse is where? This side right here, the one that is across from the right angle, this is the hypotenuse. Remember, I'm labeling. Label first. Now, in relation to this angle, where is the side that is right next to you? Right next to you is this one right here. So this side right here is the adjacent. Okay, so now that we labeled, now I can put adjacent is 30 and the hypotenuse is 34. Okay, so how can we simplify this fraction? 30 over 34, we can just put it straight on the calculator on the phone. I'm using this little calculator. 30 over 34 it gives us 0.8823. Remember, the instruction says round to 4 decimal places. So this equals 0.8823. So the cosine of angle A is 0.8823. It's just a ratio, okay? We're just getting the fractions. We're not solving any sides yet. We're going to do that after this lesson. All right, it's just a ratio. So now let's get the cosine of angle B. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. So this is, I think, it's best if you do this just like I'm doing it, because you have to label. And I don't want to, if you want to overlap the labels, but that will get you confused. So I'm going to draw the triangle again. Here's my triangle. Here's angle A. Here's angle B. Right angle C. 34, 16, and 30. All right. So now they're asking us to find the cosine of angle B. And we already know that is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so now we need to go to angle B. Where is angle B? Right here, right here. So in relation to angle B, which of these two sides right here is the adjacent, right next to it? It's gonna be this one right here. So I'm gonna label adjacent. All right. And of course we know that the one across from the right angle, this is your hypotenuse. So you see, you have the labels you already identified. So that is the first thing that you need to do. So the adjacent for angle B is the one that measures 16, and the hypotenuse is 34. So I'm going to go straight again to the calculator. 16 over 34. It's 0.4705. 0.4705. So the cosine of angle B is 0.4705. Okay. All right. So I want to see all this work. That's why you have 2 days. But if you get to it, it shouldn't take you more than half an hour. Okay. So this is what I expect to see on each of the exercises. Please follow my instructions. That way you don't get confused when you're labeling, because it is important to label. All right. Because we're going to continue doing these type of exercises. So I want you to get used to labeling. All right. Show me your beautiful work in your photos. All right. Bye. Oh, one more thing. Remember, the countdown has begun. We only have 2 weeks left and 1 week of finals. So keep it up. Thank you guys. Bye.